Hey, what's up guys? Gene Fetty with the Automotive Appearance Institute back at you with another All Access podcast. Today, in this episode, we're going to do a little recap of the PDR Expo. I was there last weekend in Vegas. I want to talk about the show a little bit, talk about the competition, the winners, how that went, and then a little bit of my tool score from there. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the PDR Expo is in Vegas, has been in Vegas for the last couple of years. It is what MTE Vegas has turned into. It went from a Mobile Tech Expo show to a straight PDR show, and they're trying to build it. Last year was a pretty small turnout, but it was the first time for this specific show. This year, more than doubled, maybe more than tripled the attendance of what was there from year one. Great turnout. It's a very nice, intimate show. It sort of reminds me of my first MTEs that I went to back 2010, 2011, when it was smaller, held at the Carib Royale, and you really got to hang out and talk in small groups. The PDR Expo almost feels like a throwback to those days, which is really cool. Vegas, there's always plenty to do. Not a big gambler, but I am a big eater. Tons of great restaurants, great nightlife, great drinks if you'd like to drink. It's a good time. This year was at the Plaza Hotel. Stay and attend in the same place, kind of like MTE is. The venue's pretty decent. I think they're looking for maybe a little newer place next year, I've heard, but nothing is set in stone. It is a convenient place to get to. It's right at the end of Fremont Street, and that is a spectacle to see for sure. If you've never been to Fremont Street, I highly recommend going and people watching for sure. So the expo, it's a 2-day expo, unlike the 3 days at MTE, and it's a combination of education and vendors and competition all in the same room, all going on at the same time. Not as many vendors as MTE, but again, the show is growing. We got to see, let me see everybody I talked to. Anson had a big booth. We've got some stuff from them that I may or may not be able to talk about. Mobile Tech RX was there. VIP Tools, Dentcraft made an appearance. Kiko was there. Keith Cosentino and Tammy with Keith's new business, claimconnection.io. And then some other vendors off to the side with some detailing-ish or reconditioning companies. Didn't get a chance to speak with them. I was just in for the 1 day. And then the competition was there. So it is not the Dent Olympics. It is the Dent Trials, which is a multiple dent, multiple repair venue. Really challenging damage for sure. I normally do get to judge that because I had to make a trip back home for a car show. Didn't get to hang out Saturday and I missed being able to judge it. But we do have the list of winners here coming up in a second. So that's sort of a little bit of an overview of what the show is. Let's talk about that competition. So you've got 2 competitions that go on there. You have the Dent Trials, which is for your seasoned PDR techs, and then you have the beginners group. The way the beginners group works is you need to be a 2-year tech or less, and your trainer needs to sponsor you to come into the event, right? So it's not just open to anybody. They don't want somebody who doesn't legitimately have a shot at being able to repair the dents to come in. So you need to be sponsored by your trainer and less than 2 years into the business. This year, I believe it was Corey Nichols' guy, Thomas Stark, came in and got first place in the beginners competition. The dents are no joke. I know last year there was a pretty good crease. You needed to know what you were doing to be able to fix it. And second place in that beginner competition is a gentleman named Ben Johnson. I didn't get to meet Ben, but I'm pretty sure I got to meet Thomas hanging out with Corey. Now the Dent Trials are, I believe it's 3 dents. So it is a shot through the body line on a fender, a deep, more PDR Olympic style dent in the door, and a pretty good shot in the rail. So all repairable damage, but all difficult damage. The fender dent, man, they were pretty deep. The body line was definitely gone, and I'd probably call it at least a 2.5 or 3 inch deep chop. And then again, the doors are that dent Olympic style dent with that tight bottom bordering on stretched, if not actually stretched. And then the rails are a deep, deep shot. I think 90 minutes is what sticks in my head. Don't quote me on the timeline, but it is 3 dents in a set amount of time to get everything done. This year, I've got your top 5 list, and I'm going to try not to butcher the names too bad. So, making a comeback, Mr. Jan, aka Zan Vidic from Slovenia, came in and took a first place. Congratulations, Zan, to you. I know you take your competition really serious, and you are at probably more competitions than just about anybody I know. So congratulations to Jean or Zan. Second place is Sergey Fukizi. Probably screwed that last name up, but congratulations on second place, Sergey. Third place, Damon Sari. Congratulations, Damon. Fourth, Troy Beaumont. And fifth place, Vladimir Polacek. I think I may have got that one right. So that's your top 5. Guys, these guys come out, they travel to the venue, they pay to compete. If you see them online, send them a message, tell them congratulations. They definitely deserve the recognition for going after these dents and competing in front of a crowd of people, right? It's not easy stuff. But absolutely, congratulations to all the winners, all the top placers, and really anybody who stepped up and did that competition. Hats off to you, man. Literally, I got talked into the dent trials a few years ago at Anson, and I was sweating it, and I did a horrible job. It was bad. But anyways, there we are. So now let's talk some tools. What did I see at PDR Expo? What did I pick up at PDR Expo? I'll give you a little bit of review on the stuff that I can. I don't have everything. I haven't used everything yet, but it is pretty cool. Let's start with these Kiko modular hammers. Now, I did not pick them up at the Expo. I actually got them at the Texas Auto Body Show, but this is the first show that I saw Kiko have these hammers out. I've got 2 of them with 2 setups, but actually looking at the display, you can sort of turn these into all kinds of stuff, like longer, shorter, different ends. Pretty cool. This first one is the, call it the Craftsman / Vaughn hammer redo from Kiko. I'm not normally a fan of round-handled hammers with a ball on the end. For years, I sort of resisted them. I really like a hammer handle that your brain can index, right, by having a flat side. These, however, are really comfortable, and I'm growing to love these. So just like that Vaughn / Craftsman hammer, 2 different hardnesses on the heads. So we've got the dark blue is the harder side. That would be like the yellow side of the Craftsman hammer. And the more softer blue is a softer rubber, like the red side. On the head of the hammer, I always liked my Craftsman hammer. I love my Craftsman hammer. I still have it in my box. You could use it a few different ways, right? You could use it as the hammer handle, as light. You could get a hard stinging hit from the hammer head, and then of course your 2 different hammer faces. Kiko did a great job on this, right? You've got your 2 faces, but then they put a nice leather pad on one side. It almost, I'm not going to tear it apart, but it almost feels like it's pretty thick and set into the head. And on the other side, a steel plate, right? Because I'm pretty sure this is an aluminum head. A steel plate for that stinging steel impact. Perfect length, right? That Craftsman hammer, again, it's still in my cart. I love it. I really like the leather on the side of here for the impact, right? Even putting this next to the mic, right, is a pretty blunt, dead blow. A little easier on the ears. So that's the short, I don't know, call it 12, 13-inch Kiko modular hammer. Killer. I also picked up the longer one, call it, I don't know, 16 inches, give or take. The blending hammer with the pivot tip heads. Now you look at it, right, you're gonna have to go, if you're listening to the audio version, go check out the YouTube channel so you can see the video. It is the pivot tip heads and similar to this Craftsman style hammer, two different hardnesses, right? So the soft baby blue color and the darker, more solid color, soft and more rigid. This is great and sort of plays off of the old ratchet hatchet from Hayes Freeman, designer of the pivot tips. The tips, because they're on that pivot head, allow you to reach out, and you don't need to be perfect to make a perfect strike. As you come down, if you are slightly off, the fact that the pivot tip is on a ball and socket will allow the head to come down and meet the panel in the right way. And these pivot tips, going back to my Kiko days, the pivot tips are killer for knockdowns on those like medium height crowns. And then the longer length on here really lets you reach out and get a good sight line back to the panel, and light. It's super light in the hand and easy to move. Both of these also have carbon fiber shafts, right? Again, keeping that weight down and making your job a little bit easier. And bonus, it looks cool because it's carbon fiber. Next up, right, and if you're listening to the podcast, you heard us talk to Mr. Hudson Tansey with Dent Gents with his collaboration on the new tornado tabs from Kiko and the Chocolate Thunder glue in conjunction with Anson. So I've been back from the show for a week, putting them to use. I love the tornado tabs, right? I've tested those 10 millimeters, the first initial run. Now we have 7, 9, 11, and 13, all in the ice material, color-coded so you know what size you're grabbing. It's a great little bonus there. Great hard pulls. This dead center tornado tab face is giving a great tight pull. And on the last podcast, on the last episode, Hudson was talking about just how fast of a glue the Chocolate Thunder is. Not quite my style. I'm not a fast puller. I like to stick more to the 6Cs, Kiko 6Cs, and let it cool down and get that strongest possible pull almost every time, right? And work the pull to where I want it to be. Letting this Chocolate Thunder glue set up. Now we've been like, call it mid to upper 70s this week. High humidity all week. Letting this glue set up, as long as you don't let it get to where it gets brittle, man, it pulls like a freaking freight train. So super impressed, super happy with the tornado tabs and the Chocolate Thunder glue. If you haven't tried them out, give them a go, right? Like really, really solid stuff. We are coming into our cooler season in Pittsburgh. So I think we'll probably be putting the Chocolate Thunder glue away. I think it's going to get brittle the same way Orange Fire or Tab Weld does in the cooler weather. But we're going to continue to press on and push through with these tornado tabs. Speaking of tabs, and I've not had a chance to put these to the test yet because I ordered them from Dentcraft and I just got them in yesterday and I didn't need to glue pull anything today. But these are the new Willey Quick dent poppers. Now, if you are a child of the 80s, as I am, this packaging makes me want to go find some Pop Rocks. I put it in my mouth and go like this, and listen to it pop. Maybe even drink a Jolt Cola and get the full sugar effect, like 1983 all over again. Now, these tabs, they've got a 13, 11, and 9 millimeters. They are a hard plastic. It looks similar to an ice material from Kiko. Square faces. So we know a square face is good because we still get the round shape of our glue, but we get the extra hold on of a square face. The shafts are pretty thin. I don't know that I would call them, and that might step down sort of like a dead center or similar to a dead center. Definitely a thinner shaft than what you would see on a standard tab, right? Which is going to help pull a tighter spot into the middle of the tab and help you pull a tighter high spot into your dent. Everything I've seen online, the people that have used these have been great reviews. I've really not seen anything negative other than a couple people complaining about broken tabs. It's a consumable, just like all the other small tabs. We're not gonna rant about that, but we may come back for a rant on one of these episodes about broken tabs or the people who complain about them. Anyways, these tabs are great, or at least everything I've heard about these tabs is great. I'm really excited to put them to use. It's got a thin face. It's got a little bit of a almost a concave face, ever so slightly concave face. Should be a really hard pulling tab. Once we get them and get to use them and put them through the paces, I will come back with a full review on these and let you know exactly what I think. I believe these are certainly available from Willey Quick. I got them at Dent Craft. And I think Anson is carrying them as well. So the dent poppers from Willey Quick, I'm really tongue twister. I'm really excited to give these things a go and see how they perform. Up next, before we get to what was my favorite purchase at the show, I'm just going to tease this. Go check out the Anson Tool Porn Thursday post from Craig about the soon to come new handle from them. I don't want to drop details because Craig was doing magic tricks all weekend at the show with this, but I've got one here and it is badass. I think they're still 2 or 3 months away from production, but go check out Craig's Tool Porn Thursday video. I think the hype is going to be real with that one for sure. Which brings us to my favorite score from the show, and that is this for you audio people. Drum roll. This is the new carbon fiber. Can you hear that? Carbon fiber window guard from VIP. As soon as Peter handed this to me, I was like, dude, badass. Like, it looks cool. It is thin, right? I've always used the Dent Craft clear plastic with the blue felt on back, which is a pretty thin window guard for ease of sliding it into the door. This is like half the thickness of that. He's got a thinner felt on it. He's got the felt starting about 1 inch up on the panel to make it even easier to insert. Every door I stuck this in this week, I just sort of shook my head and I was like, I love it. I love it. There's just no question. And it is strong, man. Carbon fiber, right? Going even back to the Carbon Tech rod, the first time I pushed a dent with that, blows my mind how strong it is. I would venture to say that this is almost as stiff as my metal window guard that I use for laminated windows. Man, Peter, home run, dude. I know he did a limited run of these. I think retail price on these is $125 or thereabouts. Go order one yesterday from VIPPDRtools.com. I think that's the website. But anyways, this carbon fiber backer is nuts, dude. Like, I get geeked about tools too often. As simple as it is, I'm totally geeked out about the new window guard from VIP. So that's sort of the tool haul, a little bit of the expo. Coming up this week, this episode drops on Monday. I'm not sure how many days September has. 30? 31? 30. It's got 30 days. Thanks for the tech support, babe. 30 days. So this podcast drops on September 30th, on Monday. On October 4th, in Burleson, at Anson, we have a glue pull repair training in person, full day, 9 to 5, hands-on, dropping all of my glue pull repair knowledge to you in a day. I've got a couple of seats left. If you're thinking about it, just go. I promise I'm going to teach you something. I've had brand new technicians that I teach a ton. I've had 20 plus year technicians in my training that, like, before we're done with the slideshow portion of it, they're like, huh, this was worth the price already. And we hadn't even glue pulled anything yet. We're just teaching and talking theory, and it's already there. Gluepulltraining.com is how to get to the webpage to sign up. It's only $700. If you're a PDR tech, the stuff I teach you at that show or that class, and you're doing big damage anything, will pay for itself on the first car. I promise. Come see us. We're also throwing in a $100 Anson gift card, free lunch. I mean, who doesn't want a free lunch? I know I like food. And access to our online course, all about tension pulling, how to use tension to unfold metal and get it going. So make sure you go and check that out. If you can't come see us in person, we always have our online training, our glue pull repair masterclass. GPRmasterclass.com takes you right to that page. Study at your own pace. That is basically the information I could teach you if I came out and we spent a week together and all we did is work on glue pulling with exactly perfect damage the whole time, where I could teach. So go check that out. I think you can get into that for under $500. In fact, I'm certain you get in under $500 and you get lifetime access to it. You really can't beat that. Come learn how to glue pull with me, right? Again, what are you waiting for? Get after it. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're following us on social media. We are at Auto Appearance Institute across the board. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm not really LinkedIn, but if I did LinkedIn, that would be our handle to get there. Guys, reach out, send me a message. Shout out to somebody that found that slide hammer. Maybe it may have been Jared Kirk, maybe. I'd have to go back and look at my messages. I get a lot of messages. Shout out to whomever sent me the link to the Ultra slide hammer that Hudson was talking about. That's a pretty sweet slide hammer. Might have to add that to my arsenal of glue pull repair tools. Because again, can you ever have too many tools? I don't think. I just need more space, maybe, looking at all these carts of glue pull tools behind me. I don't know. But Melissa's not shaking her head, so we're okay. We can still continue to get to, oh, there's the head shake. It's all good. So, AutoAppearanceInstitute.com for all things Auto Appearance Institute. Keep an eye out for next week's episode. I'm hoping to grab an interview with Christina Seckinger of Anson if we get through the class and have a little bit of extra time. If we don't make it for next week, we do have a guarantee that we're going to talk to her. She's going to give us the history of Anson, how her grandfather started and moved into Craig and how she took over. I've heard the story before. I'd love to get it out here to the masses. And you might want to bring some Kleenex for that one. She can be a little bit of a tearjerker. So, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for listening. Episode 3 of the All Access podcast with the Automotive Appearance Institute is in the books. See you guys next time.